Hey there guys, welcome back to the Alpha Legion Beta Extravaganza, whatever it's called, whatever, I don't know. Not too long ago, I don't know when these videos are going up, but hey, we just looked at rogues, let's take a look at shamans. What I wanted to do was pull up my shaman and have all the totems around her. But they start out as elemental, which there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's what I have. I'm playing. Totes, that's her name. Not this shaman, but, or shammy. But my actual, like, yeah. And her name is Totes, and she's a goblin, so I was like, yeah, let's go with goblin. And I was going to have totems around her, and forgot. Elemental now uses a new ability. Kind of like the Shadow Priests don't have mana anymore, they have Insanity. Same thing here, they don't have mana anymore, they have Maelstrom. So right off the bat, Elemental Shaman have a new ability called Maelstrom. So, they got 2 damage, Elemental and Enhancement, and then Restoration as the healer. Primary stat for Elemental is Intellect, where damage for Enhancement is Agility, you know, whatever. And then Restoration is Intellect as well. So, let's take a look at Elemental and whatever else we can, because I can't remember. I did undo it. I can't remember which ones are active and which ones are not. So, let's start with this one. Levels 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, and 100. Every 15 levels, you get a new ability, except for 90 and 100, which are obvious. Anyways, level 15, you have Path of Flame. Your lava burst deals 10% more damage and causes flame shock to spread from the target to a nearby enemy. Earth and Rage, your damaging spells incite the earth around you to come to your aid for 6 seconds, repeatedly dealing X fire damage to your most recently attacked target. And Totem Mastery. Summons 4 totems that increase your combat abilities for 30 seconds. Resonance Totem generates 1 Maelstrom every 1 second. Storm Totem increases the chance for a lightning bolt to trigger elemental overload by 10%. And Ember Totem, increases flame shock damage over time by 20%. And the Tailwind Totem increases your haste by 3%. I should be able to, like, here, this is what I wanted to do initially. That's what I wanted to do. Level 30, you have Gust of Wind. A Gust of Wind hurls you forward. Ooh, that sounds fun. I might have to check that out. Ancestral Guidance for the next 10 seconds. 20% of your damage and healing is converted to healing on up to 3 nearby injured party members or raid members, whatever. Windrush Totem summons an air totem with X help at the target location for 15 seconds, continually granting all allies who pass within 10 yards 60% increased movement speed for 5 seconds. Level 45, you have Lightning Surge Totem summons an air totem with 5 health at the target that gathers electrical energy from the surrounding air and then explodes after 5 seconds to stun all enemies within 8 yards for 5 seconds. Wow, that's a mouthful. And it still says mana, it should say Maelstrom. Earth Grab Totem, let's see, if I select that, does it change to Maelstrom on the bar? No, it still says mana. So I should be able to just cast it. There it goes. Oh, okay, so you can't change it while it's on cooldown. Okay, cool. So Earth Grab Totem summons an Earth Totem with X help at the feet of the caster for 20 seconds. The totem pulses every 2 seconds, rooting all enemies within 10 yards for 5 seconds. Enemies previously rooted by the totem will instead suffer 50% movement speed reduction. Voodoo Totem replaces Hex. Summons Voodoo Totem at the target destination for 10 seconds. The totem hexes all enemies within 8 yards into frogs, incapacitated and unable to attack or cast spells. Damage causes the victim or leaving the area will interrupt the effect. Elemental Burst at level 60. Harness the raw power of the elements, dealing X elemental damage and increasing your critical strike, haste, or mastery by X for 10 seconds. Ancestral Swiftness increases haste by 10% and attack speed by 10% at all times. Echo of the Elements. The following spells and abilities now have 3 charges. Other effects that reset their cooldown will instead grant 1 full charge, and that effect is Lava Burst. Elemental Fusion increases the chance that you will gain Lava Surge by 10%. Primal Elementalist. Your Earth, Fire, and Storm elementals are drawn from primal elementals 80% more powerful than regular elementals with additional abilities. Also grants direct control over your fire and storm elementals. Wow. Magnitude. Anytime a target is standing in earthquake with flame shock, gouts of magma will erupt at their feet, dealing extra damage. Level 90, you have a Lightning Rod. Your spells have a chance to cause your target to become a Lightning Rod. Lightning Rod causes your nature spells to deal 20% additional damage to the target and all enemies within 20 yards. Storm Elemental. Call forth a greater Storm Elemental to hurl gusts of wind at the caster's enemies. Last 1 minute. For 15 seconds after summoning the Storm Elemental, your Maelstrom generation is increased by 100%. This replaces Fire Elemental. Aftershock. Your shock spells refund 25% of all Maelstrom spent on them. Level 100, you have Ascendance. The Shaman transforms into a Flame Ascendant for 15 seconds. While in this form, Lava Burst has no cooldown, and Chain Lightning is empowered to become a Lava Beam. Ice Fury. Hurl frigid ice at the target, dealing X frost damage and causing the next 4 frost sharks. That's how dumb that sounded. I just left that hanging in the air. Frost sharks. Sci-fi, call me. I got a movie idea. The next 4 frost sharks. Now I almost sounded like I was from Boston. Hey, did you see the sharks? 4 frost sharks. You cast to deal 400% increased damage. It generates 30 Maelstrom. And last but not least, Liquid Magma Totem summons a fire totem at the destination for 15 seconds that erupts with liquid magma, hurling X fire damage at all enemies within 0 yards every 2.7 seconds for 15 seconds. So there you have it. That is Elemental. Let's take a look at an enhancement if we can. If not, it'll tell us. We can. I probably should, before I even start recording these, is make sure that I can do all of them. But, hey, I think it's more fun like this. It's kind of like opening up the Cracker Jack box and going, oh my god, it's Cracker Jack. And we have Maelstrom here as well, it looks like, yeah. So the main ones are Rock Biter, Storm Strike, Stormbringer, Flame Tongue, Lava Lash, and Maelstrom Weapon. Melee attacks generate Maelstrom. So let's see what's the same, what is different. So, I needed a drink. Wind Song at level 15. Excuse me. Attack your enemy for X nature damage and enhance your weapons with wind, increasing your attack speed by 20% for 15 seconds. Hot Hand. Flame Tongue also causes your attacks to have a chance to make your next Lava Lash cost no Maelstrom and deal 0% increased damage. Well, I think that's supposed to be it does not do any increased damage, 0 whatsoever. Boulder Fist replaces Rock Biter. Slam the target with the power of stone, dealing X nature damage and empowering your weapons for 10 seconds. Increases your critical strike chance by 10% and increases all damage dealt by 5%. It generates 25 Maelstrom, replaces Rock Biter. Rainfall. Blanket the target area in healing rains, restoring X health up to 6 allies in the area over 10 seconds. Your Storm Strike and Lava Lash extend the duration of rainfall by 6 seconds, up to a maximum of 3 seconds. That doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense to me. Feral Lunge. Lunge at your enemy as a ghost wolf, biting them to deal X physical damage. Wind Rush Totem, and we saw that. Lightning Surge summons an air totem with 5 health at the target that gathers electrical energy from the surrounding air and then explodes after 5 seconds to stun all enemies within 8 yards for 5 seconds. The other 2 we have seen. Lightning Shield. Surround yourself with a shield of lightning for 1 hour, which has a chance to deal X nature damage every time you deal or take melee damage. Now this again is another interesting one, as it's usually like the first ability, one of the first abilities a shaman gets. Kind of like on a rogue. It's surprising to see this on here. And move to talents rather than just having it as an ability. So unless it's an ability for others, this is definitely an interesting choice. Ancestral Swiftness, increase haste by 10%, attack speed by 10% at all times. Sundering, shatter a line of earth before you, causing X physical damage and knocking enemies to the side. Tempest at level 75, Storm Fury now affects the next 2 storm strikes. Overcharge, Lightning Bolt now consumes up to 60 Maelstrom for up to 1,500% increased damage. That's a lot, but has a 8-second cooldown. Landslide, Rock Biter now also enhances your weapon, increasing your attack power by 20% for 10 seconds. I wonder how that works with Boulder Fist. Crashing Storm, Crash Lightning electrifies the ground, leaving an electrical field behind which damages enemies within it for X nature damage over 6 seconds. Unless there's an ability called Crash Lightning. Yeah, there is. Okay, so Crashing Storm. Alright, makes sense now. Now that makes sense. Hailstorm. Frostbrand now also enhances your weapon's damage, causing each of your weapon attacks to deal X additional frost damage. Empowered Stormlash. Your Stormlash effect now spreads to 1 additional target and deals 30% additional damage. Ascendance we saw, although this is Air Ascendant. While in this form you generate 4 Maelstrom per second, your auto attacks and Storm Strike become wind attacks, bypassing armor and having a 30-yard range. So there you have that. Fury of Air, create a vortex of wind 8 yards around you, dealing X damage every 1 second to enemies caught in the storm, and slowing them by 30% for 3 seconds. And then last but not least, Earthen Spike. Summon an Earthen Spike under an enemy, instantly dealing X physical damage, and increasing the physical and nature damage that you deal to them by 10% for 10 seconds. There you have it. Let's see if we have Restoration. It's going to cost me 15 gold. Oh my god. I don't know if I have it. We do have it. So Restoration is the healing spec. You got Healing Surge, Riptide, Healing Rain, Healing Wave, Chain Heal, and Tidal Waves. So let's see what else we get. I wanted to be weird for a moment. Yeah. Undulation. Every 3rd Healing Wave or Healing Surge heals for an additional 50%. Rushing Streams. Your Healing Stream totem now heals 2 targets at once. Torrent. Riptide's initial heal is increased by 50%. Gust of Wind. A gust of wind hurls you forward. We've seen that. Graceful Spirit. Reduces the cooldown of Spirit Walker's Grace by 60 seconds. And increases your movement speed by 20% while it is active. And then Wind Rush Totem, which we saw as well. Lightning Surge Totem, Earth Grab Totem, Voodoo Totem, we saw. Crashing Waves. Your Tidal Waves generates 1 additional charge, increases the critical effect chance of Healing Surge by an additional 10%, and reduces the cast time of Healing Wave by an additional 10%. Ancestral Guidance, for the next 10 seconds, 20% of your damage and healing is converted to healing up to 3 nearby injured party or raid members. Deluge, Chain Heal, heals for an additional 20% on targets within your healing reign or affected by your Riptide. Level 75, we have Ancestral Protection Totem, summons a totem with X health at the target location. All allies within 20 yards of the totem gain 10% increased health, and the first ally who dies can reincarnate with 20% health and mana. It lasts 30 seconds. Earthen Shield Totem summons a totem that with X health at the feet of the caster. X damage from each attack against allies within 10 yards of the totem is redirected to the totem until it dies. Lasts 15 seconds. And then Ancestral Vigor. Targets healed by Healing Wave, Healing Surge, Chain Heal, or Riptide's initial heal wave, or heal, have 10% increased health for 10 seconds. Bottomless Depths. Resurgence always triggers when you heal a target below 60%. Cloudburst Totem. Summons a water totem with 5 health at the feet of the caster for 15 seconds that collects power from all healing spells. When the Cloudburst Totem expires or is destroyed, the stored power is released, healing all injured allies within 40 yards of the total, for a total of 30% of all healing done while it was active, split evenly between them. Casting the spell a second time recalls the totem and releases the healing. Echo of the Elements. This now affects Riptide, Healing Stream Totem, and Lava Burst as well. There you go. When you cast a heal that benefits from Tidal Waves, you have a 15% chance to generate a charge of Riptide. So Riptide is another thing that Shamans use, at least. Let's see if we can look that up. Yep, Riptide. There it is. There. Just restorative waters wash over a friendly target, healing them for X and an additional X over 18 seconds. There. Ascendance. The Shaman transforms into a water Ascendant for 15 seconds. While in this form, all healing done is duplicated and distributed evenly among nearby allies. The Wellspring. Create a surge of water that flows forward, healing all friendly targets in a wide arc in front of you for X. And High Tide. Your chain heal also bounces to one additional target, and its fall off with each bounce is reduced by half. So there you have it. That is all of the Shaman, however you want to pronounce it. That's everything that they've done. I only have one Shaman. I've only gotten to like level 60 something. She's in Northrend, so it's at least 68. And of course I'm always playing, DPS roles because nobody wants me to heal apparently. So that's it. That's all I have for this video. We'll be back with more. We're going to be doing, I believe it's Warlock next, I think. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember. I think it's Warlock and Warrior. I think that's all we have left. We only have 2. Until then, I'll see you guys next time, and everything else is coming soon. I had to do it. I had to see what it was like. Oh, there's Treasure Demon. It's even going through a portal. Oh, that was cool. I hadn't seen that before. Alrighty, I'll see you guys next time. Oh, I'm trying to exit and I'm still recording. I'm an idiot.